It's pretty much impossible to go anywhere and not hear something about generative AI. I feel like 90% of the content on LinkedIn is something about how you can either use it yourself, increase the outputs of your creative team, potentially replace entire functions within marketing. And obviously, there's a lot of fears and skepticism coming from folks in the marketing industry. Most of the conversation seems to be about things like, will it take jobs? Almost certainly, unfortunately. And the legal ramifications of the fact that this thing is just a remix engine. I don't know about you guys, but I've tried to put in, prompts about products I was working on, and the thing will just pull back talking points that I myself wrote. So I think there is something to be said about the fact that this isn't going to be the absolute death knell of creatives, but I do have a couple things that I would be wary about when it comes to generative AI for the near future that aren't simply, it's going to take all of our jobs. I think the first thing that comes to mind, especially as someone who has managed creatives throughout my career, is I just have a feeling that this thing is going to absolutely destroy the expectations of non-creative managers who are managing creatives. It takes a ton of time to do something right when it comes to creative. It takes a ton of time to do something novel. And with ChatGPT and things like Midjourney kicking out results immediately, I think you're going to see compressed deadlines on already taxed creative teams. Most folks who are sitting in marketing departments now who are watching, layoffs unfold, unfortunately, it is those creatives who tend to go first. So the remaining copywriters, designers, video producers are already feeling intense pressure to pick up workloads. And I don't think ChatGPT or these generative AI tools is going to do anything but make that more difficult for folks who are sitting in those roles. The other thing I've noticed is ChatGPT is a really powerful research tool, but it also is beholden to the fact that it's pulling from search engines and essentially aggregating the most popular content first. So I would be worried in the long run what this does for novel research from a marketing perspective. Are you digging in and going deep on sources that aren't just on the first page of Google? And the challenge there is, what happens when all of these blog posts pull and mention the same exact statistics? And I think we've all seen examples of times where ChatGPT pulls statistics and uses them incorrectly. And finally, the biggest thing for me as someone who works in brand is I think we're going to see more and more that brands are no longer able to differentiate from each other. The brands that don't make investments in brand and creative are going to be kicking out largely identical copy that's hugely informed by things like ChatGPT. You're going to see tons of blog posts that are essentially wash, rinse, repeat versions of what other companies are putting out because they've made relatively little investment in getting the folks on staff who can take what ChatGPT spits out and apply an ownable, unique brand message. I think where you're going to feel this most acutely, and the pain points aren't really going to be recognized until further down the line when a bunch of these companies have now created libraries of content that largely parrots each other. But the industries that are going to feel it most are those where the products are commodified. They need brand more than any other company. All you have to differentiate is the feeling you get when you think of that company. And if they're relying on generative AI to output large volumes of content rather than smaller packages of highly differentiated content, they're really going to feel the impact when they start doing brand research and find that folks don't understand the differences between them and their primary competitors. So I'm pretty excited about ChatGPT. I've been using it a ton. I use it to create blog content. I use it to plan out projects. But I do think organizations need to keep an eye on the fact that it needs a guiding human hand to stop it from becoming what it really was designed to be, which is essentially a remix engine.